Welcome back to my channel, and I wish you all a happy new year! Chapter 1103 has caused quite a stir in the One Piece community. We can truly see many details hinting at undiscovered secrets. For example, Saint Saturn is researching some kind of medicine related to the future abilities of the users. Bonnie, in fact, has never eaten any devil fruit before, and the powers of the Tashishinomi fruit that she possesses come from the genetic effects passed down by her mother. Her skin has transformed into greenish scales that harden like stone. Oda is having Saturn research something prohibited. It's truly incredible when the elder leaders are aiming towards a future through devil fruits, something extraordinary. In the final part of this chapter, Kuma unleashes a powerful hockey punch on Saturn, who is locked and unable to escape. In fact, the humanoid lost reason, unable to use hockey in the same way as pacifistas. This demonstrates that Kuma still retains his consciousness, only losing the ability to express emotions due to Vegapunk's enhancements. According to Saturn, similar to those who consume smile fruits, they are forced to endure a single emotion, which is laughter in any situation. Another interesting point is that Luffy is. In this video, let's read and listen together to a full detailed version from me. Thank you for taking a moment of your valuable time to watch Chapter 1103, Dad, I'm sorry. On the colored cover page, we see the return of Yamato along with the members of the Straw Hat crew and Momonosuke in the form of a dragon. Frankie's hair mimics the appearance of Kaido's green dragon, always impressively chilling. Any details considered hints for the future, please leave your comments under this video for everyone to refer to. The beginning of this chapter, on the far side of the future island, we see the upper part of the island, that is, Egghead's upper part. Without seeing the lower part, it seems like the island is rising compared to the previous frame where we saw the appearance of the naval fleet. Continuing with the recap at chapter 1102. Bonnie, after absorbing all the clone memories of Kuma, learned the truth. Vegapunk also recovers after a period of being turned into a child by Bonnie. Bonnie, emotionally moved, apologizes to Dr. Vegapunk. He, too, feels touched by what Bonnie is doing, sympathizing with the sadness that a 12-year-old child has just witnessed. Then, Vegapunk takes out a creature. What's this? Bonnie asks. It's a gift from Kuma, asking me to give it to my 10-year-old birthday. It's wonderful from Dad. Bonnie takes it, a necklace with a sapphire stone. Beautiful like the sun, I will always cherish this gift. It's a necklace with a sapphire stone in the middle, surrounded by 8 small circles made very delicately. Precisely, it resembles the emblem of the clans resisting the government. They all have a large circle and 8 small circles around them, typically Wano or Alabasta. Vegapunk replies, saying it's a charm of destiny. They sit down on the ground. Vegapunk continues, I can't believe the kid grew up like that in just 2 years. This surprises the Straw Hat crew. So, he's the son of your old friend, father and son, huh? In their story, it still indirectly refers to Dragon, even though not mentioning his name directly. Honestly, I was also shocked when the two appeared together here. Destiny is indeed strange. A lot happened at Egghead. When I was still in that room, the Straw Hat crew just saved me. I will explain everything, and we can meet them again after things have settled down. The wise doctor explains while deep down he thinks, I apologize for everything. Bonnie replies, now that I know how useless I am, I'm just an outdated scientist going to work. Obeying orders. Back to reality, Bonnie thinks, he was wrong, the real villain is him. Bonnie feels pain, blood dried on the corner of her mouth in her matured form, being strangled in the hands of Saint Saturn. Pirate Bonnie, your father, Kuma, is truly dead. The despicable gaze of the old man makes Bonnie even more enraged. Underneath, Sanji, Frankie, and Vegapunk still cannot move. Sanji says, damn it, why can't I move like this? Luffy, low on energy, lies on the ground with a skinny body. Someone, feed me. I can't move like this. Shintamaru, after the battle with Kizaru, is also tied up. He's still conscious, not to the extent of losing consciousness. The other Marines are pointing guns at him, and Kizaru is struggling on the ground. He silently calls Shintamaru and Bonnie, the Marines outside the island, panic, contacting each other about the situation inside. No, we can't assess the situation because access from the stone platform down is not allowed. At this time, Morgan's news has spread everywhere at a staggering speed. Residents outside the different islands read this news and discuss related attacks from the 4 emperors. They wonder if only a miracle could prevent casualties. The intensity is even more severe than the O'Hara incident. Hopefully, Dr. Vegapunk can perform a miracle. Some of you may have forgotten someone with Vivi. He analyzes that Luffy has kidnapped Dr. Vegapunk to threaten the world government near Kamabaka Wyndham. Dragon and Ivankov were seen. Your family still has some humanity in them, Dragon says. If it were me, I would create chaos in Mariehawa to seek revenge. Though they all know Kuma, he's not like us. Back to the future island, the high-ranking Marines are pointing down at Bonnie. She, angry, says if everyone has to die here, then I'll share the same fate with him, squeezing Saturn's future neck. Bonnie has strengthened her upper body, just like Luffy's G3 punch. She is now a rubber person with an angry face, no different from G4. Then, she unleashes a straight punch to the old Saturn's head. However, that punch only feels like a headbutt to the guy. That's why. Why suddenly feel weaker? That's why. The girl quietly thought. Saturn tightened his grip on her hand, causing Bonnie to scream in pain. So, he knows that name, huh? Indeed, his daughter, she says. But, do you really not fully understand its meaning? After pondering in his head, it seems it hasn't yet received the connection with Nika regarding the appearance of the Straw Hat guy. The wise and reserved philosopher says, how sad. Just as he says this, he notices a huge belly appearing while the Straw Hat kid on the ground is continuously peeling and shoving food into his mouth. Who took the food? Where did it come from? Take responsibility, you guys. Put on the sea stone handcuffs immediately. Luffy underneath, with 3 hands and 4 legs, stuffs all the food into his mouth, yummy, yummy, at the fastest speed possible under the explosion of Saturn's rage. The high-ranking Marines rush to control him quickly. Kizaru, now recovering, sits up, muttering something. Bonnie, exhausted, mutters, what's with this old guy? I can't change his age anymore. Returning to Saturn's philosophical discourse, Bonnie, your ability is thanks to me. We conducted experiments to determine if genetics could bring abilities to children without having to feed them devil fruits like normal. It was a successful experiment, but the fruit itself is now useless. Your ability can transform into any future form you see as possible, but it may become limited because your future will become more certain when you learn the truth. Nika is just a mythical figure that you guys cling to as the human resources weaken. It shows that you begin to doubt whether he, meaning Nika, really exists or not. Bonnie angrily shouts, Nika is real! I have always been searching for him to save my father, ever since that person turned my father into a cyborg slave. While Saturn talks, Kuma is still flying in the sky. Where is he going? Saturn simplifies the story of the useless buccaneer tribe. He remembers that he said, to save others like Nika, your mother was brought to the holy place to become the 8th wife of the celestial dragon, just a fabrication. It ultimately is part of my drug experiment. Unlike other failures, it spread the disease, waving the sapphire gem. I know this poor result, but unexpectedly, the disease is passed on to the child too. The truth about the abduction of Jenny has also been exposed on the outside of the island. A strange object is being poured down. Meanwhile, Bonnie cries when she learns about her mother's story, saying, it's all because of you. Vegapunk, after hearing the whole story, is also angrily furious. Experiments. How dare you, Stern! Those sapphire waves destroy Kuma's family, and they are the reason he gave up his life. And you use it as a bargaining chip, while you are the true villain? Saturn strokes his stick, bending down to look at the tiny scientist under his feet, saying, put yourself in my position. Do you feel anything about the ants you step on? Of course not. Saturn's eyes became filled with completely contrasting hostility to Bonnie's collapse. Outside, after a powerful impact, Kuma emerged from the pile of debris. 2 Marines in fear, a pacifista. Why don't you look at his hand? There's a bare paw underneath. An emergency report from the 5th former warlord Bartholomew Kuma has landed here, moving straight towards the center of Chip jurisdiction. The authority is ineffective, and we can't stop him. Another explosion closer to Saturn location, still visible. The old man looks quite surprised at what's happening behind him. Truly a disaster. How did Kuma manage to come here? Bonnie is now extremely terrified by what she has heard. Ultimately, she's only 12 years old, and her spirit is not strong enough to endure this painful truth. So, before absorbing the tiger ball, bear paw cushions are attached, appearing weak before the tragedy of her unfortunate father. For Vegapunk, the former doctor is also shocked at Kuma's presence. He's here, but how? Saturn orders to stop him and directs all the naval forces to shoot. Kuma tries to run forward, surpassing the low-ranking naval forces, who are like small fish before the thunder of Saturn's orders. Kuma starts showing signs of fatigue, then suddenly, a massive bat hits his left face part. The impact has thrown Kuma backward. It's unbelievable that he continues to stand up. It seems like a missile amidst the flames. Kuma's leg was already injured by a kainu earlier, and part of his right face was painful. The relentless pain is building up inside Kuma's extraordinarily resilient and noble body. Along with the astonishment, Kuma appears here. He's here, but how can he be? Saturn commands to crush him, and the high-ranking naval forces plan to shoot Bonnie's head as per Saturn's order. Kuma aims at them and fires laser beams. The explosions create a perfect and accurate bombardment, making Saturn also furious. Truly useless navy in the eyes of the old man. Saturn doesn't hesitate anymore, throws Bonnie to the ground, and Spider boots up, aiming at her head. In the meantime, Bonnie, resentful, whispers, "Father, I'm sorry," a heartbreaking scene. Sanji is in pain witnessing the torture of a beaten little girl right in front of him, helpless against that miserable old man. A kick to the throat, and Vegapunk is stunned. Kuma moves forward, he left behind the damaged pacifista. Though this robot has a formidable defensive bubble shield, it's with the buttocks, as if this guy is too exaggerated. Those who have instructions, bring good feng shui. Saturn, at this moment, squeezes even more, using all his muscle to crush Bonnie in his hand, making her scream to exhaustion. In the midst of the chaotic situation, when the high-ranking naval forces are preparing to shoot Bonnie's head, Kuma aims at them, launching laser beams. The explosions, forming bang bang, accurately hit every melee, making Saturn really angry. Truly, the Navy is useless in the eyes of the old man. Reading that the situation is worsening, Saturn doesn't have any hesitation left. He throws Bonnie to the ground and, in the process, Spider boots up, targeting her head. Meanwhile, Bonnie, furious, thinks, "Dad, I'm sorry. I have fought to the point of exhaustion for you." But a bear paw reaches down, Kuma teleports to Bonnie's position, hugging her tightly in his arms. This action has caused most of Kuma's body to be pierced. Luckily, Bonnie is safe. She cries silently, calling for her father, and Kuma has signs of malfunctioning from a machine. Saturn yells in pain. Bartholomew Kuma unexpectedly did not react as the old man expected. Kuma returns, grabs the spider boots, a sharp spider paw pulled out, causing blood to burst. Kuma, one hand bending Saturn's spider leg aside, the other hand gripping it like a hammer in the cry of Bonnie, the little daughter who has suffered so much damage in front of a miserable old man, an old man living for a long time. Kuma, extraordinary and noble, exerts a tremendous force, coupled with the rage of a father. Such an evil and cruel person as the old man, Saturn, screams. Saturn is experiencing the most costly price he has ever paid. Could it make the evil and cruel old man truly bear the most expensive price ever?